But in July 2019, the conglomerate of multimedia morning shows started a campaign to ensure that we had government bring some ice to the Lekma Road, 7.5-kilometer bar stretch at the time. But it looks like the difficulties of residences, numbering about 500,000, seem to have eased, and we visited there. Just watch this.
It is exactly 6 months since a promise was given by the roads minister that this road, this stretch, at least one lane will be completed for motorists to be able to use the stretch. You all do remember the campaign that went alongside the hashtag Fix Lekma Now. Ultimately, this is what we decided to do. We came here, pitch camp here. All of the top brands of the multimedia group, we had Joy News, Joy FM, Asempa, and the rest of the team coming here, as well as Adum. And comprehensively, this hospital was the fulcrum around which the conversation was, because prior to now, we had constant complaints, not only from motorists, but also the drivers and the residents who ply this route, that especially in times of emergencies, when they would need some assistance from this hospital or reports, they ultimately ended up not getting there on time. And so those emergency cases were periods when they either recorded fatalities or some of the cases were just not attended to in time. It's a concern, or was a concern for many people. Over the period, the last 6 months, we've been able to come here to come and assess the road. Now, let me just give you an insight. And look, if you take the stretch, you get to find that there's a bulldozer or a payloader or just one of those construction equipment in there, concrete mixers also. You can't see far off. Not too sure whether it's clear enough for you, but there had been some work so far done. And so you get to find that on your right, the lane has been completed. But this lane is just a component of a stretch that is estimated to be some 7.5 kilometers. This is constantly used at the time, we're told, by adjoining residents numbering about 500,000. And for others from other communities adjoining this main Lejokuku area, another 500,000. So we have about 1 million people using this stretch. So we call it the Lekma Road. Now, across, you'll find that there are people who tend to come and pick their normal commercial cars that we refer to as trotro. So the embankment is done here. And so they will be in the best position to have a better assessment. That's why we're here. Well, with a 6-month ultimatum given with a good promise, do we have at least one lane of the 7.5-kilometer Lekma Road fixed, as promised by the roads minister after 6 months? That's why we're here. We'll quickly cross over to the road. It has to be clear. You know, we're also within a safety period, making sure that we use the hashtag #ArriveAlive for road safety education to be undertaken. Well, so, you know, I have to do what I have to do. But I'll first ask the commercial drivers whether the stretch has been done. I have this gentleman here that's saying, you know, 6 months ago, from Rose Minister said, Wamobaya Kwaneko see Spinters Junction Hono, Mepacho, Omona, a yam of Fasutemia, a sort of saying, why so you're fine, my stretch, why I had to call my name Spinter Junction. Oh, and him, why didn't you at the saying? Oh, the mechanic said, do you can why I did, why I did it? Can I saying? Oh, first name your cry, name it's your talking to me for, and I said, yeah, I by Saturday, I'm not why you can't for to my Spinter one lane. Oh, my one lane, my one lane, my one lane. A fena shas into a fena yes, you're coherent here. Osha, a Juma, my and a Sony. A Sony packet to be inside. The why some Mugusu here. On why you want to Mugusu Besaya Adalene. Very good. And this is a far cry from the situation we met about 6 months ago. Because then the drivers like Alex were complaining that the roads or the stretch was not fixed. It was leading to concerns about delays in not only commuting, but also getting access to the hospital. Hello. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Great. Now, are you familiar with this stretch, the road?
Yeah, man.
Have they done the road?
Like something good,
Something good.
Yeah, man.
Which language do you want to speak?
Chi.
Three. I want to hear
Omuguso.
now, what could see a manager junction?
Me pacho order me
One
call.
more day, uncle. What to hear?
Me pacho ane.
Nice. Oh, share you, mama, and so any.
Pacho so omugusi ano de me fen so em fe o ma kama.
Your friend saying.
Pacho friend Boatin John.
Boatin John is saying that it looks like the stretch where he's familiar with has been done, and so we have the contractor doing the side gutters. Usually, a feature of Ghana's road. Again, very open, not straight, very crooked as well. You get to find it. But what has been done is that the stretch, one stretch of the road has been done. It's also enabled commuters to be able to commute as quickly as they want. A far cry from what we again witnessed 6 months ago. So they are doing the road, the gutters. You can find the construction workers. We'll go there ultimately and see whether they can have some conversations with us. But one of the main, perhaps main advantages is that it's also created an opportunity for people to have some relaxing time even when they want to come and board the vehicle. So we'll speak to the gentleman managing the stalls here, and we'll ask him how excited he is that we do have a road. It looks like now constructed. Not that it looks like, that's what it is.
Morning.
How are you? You know, just 6 months ago we were here, we saw that he hadn't done the road. And for you, for somebody who is operating a business here, miniji odre mo yehi.
Ji ake ne afenwe ewa wa shwe fese da ne ko pa mulu ke ni bi epa wo ni bi ai agbene nwe mi na gelo le won ka me ho nwe ame ho no fianu ye fine
if you make MPA bo modern kan na campaign kan ni bi e fe na joy kan mempi hu ba fe ke fata e hu
ame modern wa ni joy news ke Adom FM ina ga meji meni bani amba support ke hani ne hani bia ne ni bia nyefo ojogba ka gbene wo MPN ni ji okoboy ina ga le emode wa
ni agbene the rate at which they did the work, what would you say about it?
Okay.
Great. I mean, how of
okay. I'm fast. Hope I get now. I'm Fabian, but other side there when anya na fia or no fia no any for.
Is the gentleman he operates the what we call in our parlance provision shop. He operates a provision shop. But I remember, particularly on that day, there was this a bean seller that we talked to. 6 months on, we're back to our bean seller. And we want to ask our bean seller what she thinks about the state of roads so far. And Madam, ofana minga boy.
Ni elo no. Nene ngobe.
Ni waba BNFS no me 6 months ago. Ni just half a year, 6 months. Wana ni bi ni na ke echake pi ni minji odwemo alo owe mo ye.
Abega dro mo fa woni ni bi echake no he o yake be no ba ya hin fie no fie no ba nye ye mu.
No na ne o na aka won ya hin lo.
O fa ne won ya hin fio.
Ehani menhu ba hio oni bi ye lo ke
ni mu bi a na mulu hin fio e ha me ba.
No, me na ke menhu ba wo lole dane aye because the time we came 6 months ago, we saw that a lot of people were not happy.
No kwale shi bia na bo ni gbe hin e ha me na me se fi obi a na me pi ba bia na ba wo twande
have you walked on the road? Have you used it up to Spinters Mane Junction? What the Jama fan?
Oh, waiting for them. When first I blizzard for ya, she waiting for she is saying, ain't the Ebenezer. Me na ke kete here sound.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she won't pass a fan if she laugh ya.
Oliver Twist, we want more. The half has been down, so we need the other half, right? Thank you. Over the joke there.
I show me stand jaw.
Oh, stand jaw. Oh, radon. Obizanguye. But let me speak to my good friend here. What's your name?
My name is Anyete Roku.
Anyete Mini.
Roku.
And I'm seeing that they've done the road, at least the one side of it. Have you been able to get or perhaps apply the road from the junction up to Manette? Or use slow?
Use what you draft for no use
great.
Yeah, be an so I'm a fake bear car wa check Manette. Nijame le rough road car bill Manette Junction.
Okay. So now what you are telling us, and we're going, you are telling us that they haven't done the whole stretch up to Manette, but they've done a lot of it, only a little up to the junction.
Yeah. Kasi ayi few atwa jeme minupo Manette Gate kaje jeme kaya akawa jeme.
Okay, so they got up to the Manette Gate, and from there it's a rough road up to the Manette Junction.
Yeah, Manette Junction. No kaje jeme kaya Manette Junction jeme fe and awoko jeme.
Right. But what is your own views about how well maybe the minister has responded to the concerns you were raising? I mean, how would you comment or perhaps raise issues if you have any?
Okay. But no, what etowa ebi ene wa kaje benu wo bon drive mo ebi ene wo track che ne kamulu na mi wo nya awun wo fe wo kwa drive aba wo no ko ta fi o ka no wo pa me fa ka amegbe na ko nu wo na ka shi o lele na me ba amma yembo aho. No,
thank you very much. And we've been able to get substantial number of people to speak to. But look, one person among many other residents who we had spoken to or we spoke to 6 months ago was is it the leader of the Residents Association? You're the head, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your name again? Remind me.
Emmanuel Metal Nunu.
Emmanuel Metal Nunu. Now, Emmanuel, look, this is commendable. I remember 6 months ago when we spoke to you. From here, we went further. It was a Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a Sunday.
Yeah, and then we went to Agbliza.
The taxi rank.
Yeah, and it looks like now, Charlie, everything is perfect. One lane at least has been done. No complaints.
Oh, yeah, no complaints. We can't complain. This is better than before. And we give all the credit to the multimedia group. You know, before, we the residents, together with the drivers' unions over here, right from La Scala, the one at the Lekma Hospital, the Agbliza taxi rank, we try to throw light on the devastating nature of the road and then the consequences it was having on residents and even drivers and even the hospital. But we didn't get a lot of exposure. Then, to our amazement, multimedia came in. Right after he came in, we found the Minister of Roads coming down to Lejakuku here. And then he came to talk about the fact that they were going to finish in 6 months' time. And then they were going to award the contract and finish in 6 months' time. And now tomorrow marks 6 months. And the 6 months, even though it's a dual carriage, one lane of the road has been done. And even though it's not complete, because when you get to almost to Mane Junction, that place is still not tarred. And then almost to the La Scala Junction on this road, going to the police station, that place is also not tarred. But I think they are still on the road, and tomorrow is 6. So I don't think they can finish tomorrow. But as compared to before, it's far better. Initially, when you come here, the woman selling there, it will all be dusty. You know, all the shops, everything will be dusty. But today, it's better. We give our credits to multimedia. There's nothing political. If the road is done, it's going to inure to the benefit of residents in Teshi. It's going to inure to the benefit of the people at the hospital, the shopkeepers, everybody. So it's nothing political. If you want to look at it, the road was started a long time ago, right from His Excellency John Ejekunku first time. All past MPs that came in contributed their quota to the development of the road. The past MP, who was Honorable Benita Seno-Kitiria's time, that was when the relocation of the high tension, the pipelines, the drainage, the major bridges at the Lekma, Agbliza, all was done. Now, Honorable Dr. Kobo's time to the tarring and the asphalting of the road has been done. So we give credit to everybody, the residents, the drivers, the MPs, all former MPs, the current, everybody. And most of all, we would like to give most of the credit to multimedia for coming to rescue. I think that if you do more of these things, throw light on some of these things, it's going to help. Because sometimes the residents or the people living within the community try to throw light on it, they demonstrate, they don't get any attention. But your media house, when they came in, it shows that you are very powerful. So keep up the good work, and we are very grateful.
Now, again, just take us through the stretch. So we're now just in front of the Lekman Hospital. From here, where do we get to? What's the state of the road? And then subsequently, let's get to Manet Junction, and subsequently get into, is it Manet Junction? Yeah.
Manet Junction. From here, we'll go to the northern sector. The last time we came here about 6 months ago, from here, we went to the Agbliza taxi rank, where we found a fish pond instead of a pothole over there, remember. So I think from here we have to go there, and then you can also look at the state of the Manet Junction Road, where it's not completed. When you move from here to the southern sector, I think it's all done with the exception of the small stretch at the police station. So I think it will be good for us to go to the Agblizan police, because we were there 6 months ago. Yeah. And they can also take the concerns from the residents.
Oh, but that has been done, right?
Oh yeah, that stretch has been done. It's just a little stretch that gets to the Manet Junction. That's all. I think talking to the drivers and everybody, I think they're all happy. They are going to save some money as to how they used to go to the a mechanic shop to repair their cars and stuff. So I think it's better. You look at the state of the cars now, you see that now it's better than before. Before, a car registration 2019, 2018 could even look like a car about 2008. But now I think it's better. So we'll give glory to God.
But in relation to this, what had been the speed of work or the state of work in the first place?
Oh, work?
Because you are a resident, that's why I'm asking, so that perhaps you had been assessing the situation.
Yeah, work had not, it's been on and off. Sometimes the work, at points, the work was moving slow. I think within the last days, from the time that the president visited the constituency, work has begun to speed up again a little. You can see the contractors on site. Now I think almost every day they're on site. When you go to the southern belt too, you find them over there. But initially, after the multimedia came in, work began and then it halted. And at a point they continued again. So we can't complain. The speed has been on and off, but now I think it's a little bit regular.
And that's the state of the stretch. This one leads you, but before you get to the Manet Junction, it looks to be not yet completed. Actually, there's a stage. So you will take you there. You see the shores, and also you get to know what he's talking about ultimately. But what should we be thinking about going forward in relation to maybe our genuine roads and the state? Because generally the last 6 months you were worried about the connecting roads and the concerns that have been raised not only by the main stretch as well.
Okay, when you look at the nature of this road and the people that apply the road, if you had come a little earlier, around between the hours of 6 a.m. to somewhere 7:30, 8 a.m. in the morning, you see the number of cars that apply this route in the morning. People going to Spinters, people going to Tema, people going to Community 18, everybody, even Teshin, they all use this road. Now, once this road is completed, when you look on your way to Agbliza, the northern sector, there are roads leading to Agbliza, Penning, Ubedi Beng and those places. Once this one is done, because this main road wasn't done, they couldn't do the connecting roads. When you are moving to the southern sector, and you get to the Universal Oil Junction over there, that Numantu Road over there, that stretch over there, it's a major road too that a lot of cars ply in the morning. And I think now, once they started this with the link road, I could see that work is also going on that road. The drainages have already been done somewhere in 2016, but now they are putting the bitumen on the road. So I think that is also going to be tarred. Once this link road is started, I think most of the connecting and access roads are also going to be worked on. They are going to get their drainages. And even if not tarred, it's going to be made a little bit more trouble. When the drainages are done, they can all connect to this main one, which will lead to the main gutter over there. So I think going forward, we should be expecting most roads in Lejokuku, most drainages in Lejokuku to be done once the link road is done.
Well, thank you very much for the interaction.
You're welcome, Roland.
Well, so that's the stretch. You get to find out as we move. You also get to know how the stretch is, what has been done so far, and it looks like some good work making sure that we're closer, if not just fulfilling the promise as given by the roads minister. We're at Agbleza, and it's where at an intersection we spoke to at a lorry station or a taxi rank some couple of drivers. We'll again speak to them. It's 6 months on. What do they think about, the stretch now that we have laying down, etc. There should be happiness all around.
Biana me fishi agbeko na ujuba hako.
Oh, minister still egbanya.
Okay, no need for na kwa agbe ye no jino ni ka fi agbeneke eyemu.
Last time we ba no me 6 months ago and MPA more than can be oh na ga agbene things are better now. What do you say?
Ka agbeneka agbena ga wona ga o biane woni enu woni to o ni de echeno no ni eyemu agbene.
It has also reduced the time you go to mechanic shops because of the old state of the road. Ni mechanic shop previously ebe agbene benya ya chon.
Yeah. Biane ehi fi first year.
Okay, so this is it. So they have a number of the taxis or the commercial vehicles around here, and people bought. They come here all the time, and we'll speak to a number of them more also. Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Dromo. Me na 6 months exactly. No me wababie or can member we nye fitai. And me na afe 1 lane of the road. That's a good one. They've done 1 lane, so everybody at least is excited about it. But I'm gonna bet Joleba.
Yeah, I told Richard Zimbo in Jagwiza, Tazirange, Lelengbe, Amafi, Shimwe, Amibokuna, Kaja, Ejo Furan, Washaman Johnson, Amibokuna. Now when I guess the last coat now, Maule. After that, the other lane, the way Kashi, or Tora Mafi family, I could not make an army, coronation, Nutumo, Eyemu. She be a favor, she be a Nutumo, Eyokumu. No, so now I've been a man, couldn't ye Emuao.
Oh, Shinkaba, Kagbeko Naponi, Washako Nakambe over a year time, Pobashin Ben, best Ben.
Oh, no, it's okay, you have done well. She don't confess the Equemu, Yefeko, she were Bodisani, I feel African. No, Yamo Debu, she never going back when you workshop, put you, is helpful for you. She will don't like being now, coronation. I told me Richard Zimbo.
Okay, so Richard is saying that look, yeah, commendable, you've done well, but the other lane has to be completed. Residents always more. To see how you see that the road has been done. About 6 months ago, no. Namu complain pa. Sisi adi say.
Oh, sisi adi. We can say yala. Yes, first no.
Mente sakasa nasi.
Sisi adi ye crouching first no. Yes, first no.
Okay.
Because first in the crowd and now in your crowd because everyone we could be all cover so can you go pass. It sounds so the. In fact, yala.
And this is here. No, say mum complain Peter say caneno.
Oh, this is here. The complain Peter say caneno. But say the you find
at least more from main road na ya near which training na nyanchanchen na ne ebe hamo. But apart from that, they say.
Any day crowd and quachiri baby and quachiri. But main road na here. See the you find
right. What's your name again?
Desmond Obobi.
Desmond, and that's Desmond there. But look, we're assessing 6 months on the promise given by the roads minister. We've had also the president as part of his greater Accra regional tour come and tour the section of the routes that has been done. And now they're hoping that it will be completed up to the stretch leading to Manette Junction. But ultimately, it's an assessment, citizens' participation, and the compliments of how effective the media has been. Again, apart from what we started with, Fix Lekma now, we also need to make sure when we're driving on the road, we're safe. And always add a hashtag, Arrive Alive. AM Show and Joy News when you're sending the messages, commenting on all programming, not only on the AM Show, but also on the channel. Now I have to go back to the studio. So it was a big campaign. Fix Lekman now. That was the hashtag at the time. It was trended for a very long time. And it's good that 6 months on, we decided to visit.
And I like the, the reactions from the residents. At least they live it, so they're able to do even a better monitoring of the process. And it's, it's good hearing from them this morning with everybody watching. They're confident, though. I see a lot of hope, even though one stretch of that road, what we saw has not been done. Yeah.
The progress is noticeable. And that is a relief for me, because I know that at the beginning of the process, the minister released $3 million, some sort of 17 million cedis, so $3 million. And it occurred to me that that is woefully inadequate, considering the fact that it's a $20 million project. But the contract was on a sort of a pre-finance basis. So the contractor has continued to work. Certainly the amount of work we see is worth more than $3 million. So I'm relieved that we haven't had a slowdown of the process. Perhaps even government may have released more without announcing it, which would also be a plus. But we can keep our fingers crossed. Even though today is the deadline, we can keep our fingers crossed that it is progressing. So if we continue to monitor it, perhaps it will be completed on time.
So let's get on the phone lines. Let's get an update from the technical people, if you like. Mr. Philip Ansah is resident engineer, the Teshi Link Lekma Roads. Mr. Ansah, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us this morning here on the AM show.
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Ansah, if you can hear me, good morning to you. Thank you for your time.
Good morning.
Great. So the last time we checked in on you, which was first week in December, you said the project was about 40, and I'm not sure if it was you we checked with, but it was about 40% complete. What stage, where are we today?
I'm hearing you a bit far.
Okay. Is it better? Can you hear me clearer now?
Yes, better.
So I'm checking for an update in terms of where we are with the completion of the roads. What percentage would you put it?
We are within about 50%. What happened that was in December. Between December and now, because of the Christmas break and also this Chinese to also have their New Year break, but they are sort of, let me say, remobilizing. But there's some work going on. Basically, it has to do with the drainage work, yes. But we are very hopeful. Let's say from next week, which will be end of the month, and in February.
So did you say 50 or 60%?
Oh no, that thing is about 50. Because basically, we are about to do with only one side of the road, so it's not up to 60. It's about 50. Yes.
Okay. Kojo, my colleague, was just talking about the amounts that was dedicated initially for this project. How much of the total have you been given?
Now, percentage-wise, the contract is about 87 million. Okay? So, roughly, we are talking about 50%, a little below 50%. I can't quote exactly, but we are within something about 40.
Okay, and this is in Ghana cedis?
Yeah.
Okay. Any challenges with your work?
For now, I said no. Earlier on, we had some challenges, but for now, and the weather is in our favor, because between now and March, we don't expect the rain. So this is the period we can move on and do most of the work.
Any surprises? And I ask any surprises because of another construction on my stretch, which is the Pokwase road and the interchange, where the engineers discovered later on in the construction that there were more drains that they had not, initially planned for. Do we still have Mr. Ansah on the line? Hello? Okay, apologies there, we lost him. We're just going to raise him again. But guys, we also have the Member of Parliament for the area. There was a lot of pressure on him as a Member of Parliament. Unfortunately, we lost him too, but we're going to raise him back on the line.
Yeah, that's Dr. Okuboy, MP for Lejukuku Kruo, right?
Yes, municipal.
Yeah, so we'll reconnect with them.
The Jakuku Municipal.
Municipal, okay. Well,
Assembly. There's no
he's
Kruo.
an MP, so he is for a constituency, not for a municipal assembly. So okay. Anyway, you know the funding question is important. He's given us the amount in Ghana cedis, which is quite close to what we were informed of, and he says that about 50% of that has been released. So that means even more was released after that initial payment. I think I'll be curious to learn from him when he returns, when we're able to get him back, about the scope of works. You know, what is supposed to constitute completion? Is there supposed to be drainage, street lights, road markings, or is that left as a separate contract, which sometimes happens? So it will be interesting to find out what the scope of works are. And he was talking about expecting practical completion by March. So again, we would want to know why he feels that a project that started 6 months ago and we've only got 50% of it, why he feels that in 2 months we'll be able to complete the other 50% and complete the project. So
I think usually it's once you have the drains done, you have the median done, it's easier just to do the overlays.
But what he is saying is that they've only done this for one half, you know, so they have to do the same thing, all of that, for the other half as well.
All right, let's bring into the conversation the Member of Parliament for the area, Dr. Bernard Okuboy. Good morning to you, Doc. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, I hope this is Mamavi.
Yes, my name is Mamavi. You should be really happy today, aren't you?
Yeah, you know, I've missed you, not Roland too much. Yeah.
Good morning to you,
I'm happy to hear that. Don't say good morning to him. He doesn't want to hear from you. Dr. Okuboy, it's good to have you. And are you smiling in your constituency because of the progress of work, or there's still a lot of pressure on you because it hasn't been completed?
Well, I first of all, let me say a very good morning to all your listeners. A very good morning to you, your team as well. The morning team. I think largely the constituents are very appreciative of the works that they've seen. You realize that the work is very steady progress. Like the engineer mentioned, the work is almost 50%, halfway through. They are almost done with one of the blockades. It's our hope that by the end of the month, we should be able to move to the other one. In fact, they are doing some work on the other half as well, especially in front of the Lekwa Hospital. In the past, we are used to having some flooding around the Lekma hospital environment, and their engineers realized that they had to get a bigger drain beyond the small one, which was in existence before they came. And I suspect strongly that once the drainage works, they are almost done. I think I passed it just, 2 days ago, and you see the concrete works going on. So I am satisfied with the rate of progress, and I believe if it continues like that, even if not by March, like they said, it shouldn't be too long. They can finish the project.
Are residents raising other concerns, though?
Well, yes, a few that I talked to expressed concerns about two things. The first one being the speed. You know, once the road is now without it bumping nature and photos, sometimes don't. You know, I think the rule says that when you're driving within town, you have there's a particular speed limit. But apparently, they make me understand that it's a highway, and I think it's the speed. There are 1 or 2 kids that have been knocked down as a result of speeding vehicles, and we are hoping that when the road is completed, they will put in place some road designs, interventions to make sure that at least the speed is controlled.
Okay.
Then the second one has to do with I think that one is not their problem. It's more or less a local problem. Some of the sorts of vehicles used to park along the road to pick passengers and all that. And even with the asphaltic road, they do find themselves sometimes parking right on the road to pick passengers and all that. We hope with time we can manage this.
That's something the assembly can deal with, right?
Yeah, I mean, the assembly should be able to deal with that.
Okay.
But I mean, we'll make sure we take a good look at it. Yeah.
Okay, Kojo is coming through with some comments.
Yeah, Dr. Koboy, good morning. It's Kojo Youngson. Now, I know that this project began about 6 months ago. The work that we are seeing now, it began about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And we've spoken to the engineer who says that we're just under 50% completion at the moment.
Yeah.
That's 6 months of work.
Yeah.
And they say that it will all be done by end of March. That means they're going to do the other 50% in 2 months. I'm just wondering, you know, as an MP, you have a budget for monitoring projects like this. So from your monitoring, are you confident that they'll be able to do in 2 months what they did in 6?
You know, on a lighter note, even without a budget, I could monitor this road very well. Yes. To be honest with you, timelines are good, but I am more interested in the rate of progress or how steady the work is. Honestly, with what I'm seeing, when there's a slowdown, when the work retards, that is when I am convinced that it would actually delay. But with what I'm seeing, I can't bet on March. But what I know or what I'm hoping for is that this rate I'm seeing, you know, they have some interesting way of doing their work. They have most of the materials they need for the road actually dumped right by the roadside. They brought a lot of chipping, I mean, a lot. And with what we experience with our work, they have the capacity within like a week to do sometimes like a kilometer or 2 kilometers of road. In terms of just putting the chipping there, pressing it and putting the pitching in or not to. But they usually rather spend a lot of time fixing the problem, the engineering, if they get to a place. So the more of the engineering problems they encounter, the longer or the more they beat or exceed their timeline. But I tell all of my constituents, when I tell them that these guys would rather spend a month fixing the problem than to put on the asphalt, go away, and then within months there will be issues. So with that kind of education, I think most of them are like, all right, so let them do a good job for us. The main thing is, let me take the opportunity to thank the roads minister. Once the rate certificates and disbursements are made to them, the progress will remain steady or even be accelerated. And so far, they admit that the roads minister has done well on payment for them. So we are going to be monitoring a lot of things to make sure that everything comes together so that the fixed Lekma now can finally be consummated.
So you're saying you're happy with the progress, and if they continue steadily, you'll be happy. But you wouldn't bet on March.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Okay. What would be more realistic a deadline in your perspective?
Oh, you see, that gentleman is not a politician, so that's why I gave you the chance. But after having worked with you guys for some time, it's not safe to mention a particular man. But the most important thing is that this job should be done. You know, our festival is usually in August, September.
Yeah.
Before Teshu's festival, I think we should be jubilating over this show. But by the way, let me take the opportunity to mention that 1st of February, that is about less than 2 weeks from now, we are going on a walk. It's a Lekma Road walk to show appreciation for the rate of work and to it's a way of, you know, consolidating the awareness that the work is going on and to let the contractors know that we are with them every step of the way till the road is done. So it's something that we are very much sensitive to and monitoring closely. And it's about 2 hours walk, so you can burn some calories if you have.
Now, one of the problems we have with road construction in this country is that we often see potholes emerging on roads very soon after they are constructed. Many things are attributed, you know, to this. But of course, the better quality road, the less of these problems you see. You are not a road engineer yourself, so you can be forgiven, but you are in a monitoring role. Yeah. How are you ensuring that there is satisfaction with the quality to which this road is being constructed?
Well, you know, I heard some comments from different contexts in the constituency where someone said it's not the road that they are excited about, but it's the thick of the asphalt. You know,
it's the what?
It's the thickness.
The thickness of the asphalt. Okay.
Yeah. The overlay. You know, the chippings that they put. I don't know the exact whether it's base or whatever. It was about over 6 inches. You could see the height of that the chipping above the first one that we had on before the came. And a lot of people made reference to that the quantity of material they see tells them that these guys didn't come to do some funny job and then run away. So having heard that from different quarters and having also used the road, because this is the road I use almost daily, I am not a technical person, but I have the feeling that they are doing a good job. You know, as for road maintenance and all that, I think we all agree that there are many factors. The fact that you have a good road doesn't mean that it can be left maybe for years without being touched. And maintenance and management of roads in a sustainable manner, that one, if you have the time, one of these days we'll discuss it. I have some ideas. I mean, these are things that we have to look at and make sure it's sustainable. Because as they do this Lekma road, you know, there are other roads that there might be pressure on that can be used for maintenance of roads, can end up being used to do new roads. And so the bottom line is that every constituency or this district in this country must have some form of inflow that is associated to them. If Lejikuku has 400,000 residents or constituents, our inflow, should all of us pay, let's say, 50%, would be bigger than a constituency that has maybe, let's say, 40,000 residents. Right. And if you do a kilometer of road in Lejikuku and do a kilometer of road in another community that is 1/5 our size, that is not equity. That is equality. And these are things that we can discuss later.
Dr. Okoba, you have to hold on there for us. We've got the resident engineer. We spoke to him a bit earlier. We lost him. He's back. Ms. Ansah, yes. Thank you for staying with us, for coming back with us. I think I was asking if you had faced any surprises, and I was using the example of the Pokwasi Road where the engineers discovered later on in the exercise that there are some drains that, you know, wasn't initially part of the plan. So anything that you've had to do that was not part of the initial plan?
Yeah, but before I address that issue, I want to make a clarification. You asked about when we are going back, and I said that within this period, that's between January and March, that is the best time because the rains are not here. We're able to do so much. But I think it was misconstrued as that I'm saying that we'll finish the project in March. So please, I want to clarify that.
Okay, so you had a June deadline, I think, as of December. Is it still same?
Yeah, we are working towards end of the year, and that all things being equal.
End of 2020.
Yes, the issue has to do with also payment. You know, so if I'm sure if the employer also pay at the right time, then we should, let me say, by the end of the year, we should be able to finish the project. Your next issue about stock prices.
Forgive me, Mr. Ansah, if you don't mind, if we can, you know, sort of get some clarification on what you've told us about the deadline you are working towards. So you're saying that even if the monies are paid on time, you are still looking at end of 2020 for completion.
I think that is a good estimate, because you, from your end, you know, we've done something in the past 6 months, okay?
Yeah.
Which was a bit accelerated, okay? So we are looking at all things big around August to be able to finish. That is all things being equal, yes. Because after doing the other side, now we have to do the traffic installation, lane marking, traffic light installation. So if you ask me, August should be
okay.
a good estimate. But we are, the contractor is doing his best if the payment. So if there's any condition, I will look at the payment. Yes.
Right. But what you're saying is that you're working towards end of 2020, all things being equal, all payments being on time. You're looking at end of 2020. Okay. You wanted to make another point?
No, she asked about stock price. And,
oh, yes.
And I said we don't expect anything because most of the drainage works have been done. So we don't expect any. Sometimes you may probably be a bad material. So we don't expect so much because from on the other side, that could also delay a bit, but we'll be able to work within that time. Allotted.
Ms. Ansa, one of the things that we are seeing, the tractor drivers parking on the road, is there provision for like bus stops or proper places where the vehicles could park and pick passengers? Also one of the issues that the MP raised.
Yeah, that is a challenge. Some of the challenges we have now. They are not, but you know the attitude of these drivers. So if you're asking about challenges, then I would say these are some of the few ones. We have there stopping and picking passengers.
But you're not building bus stops. You're not deliberately providing.
There are bus stops, bus bays along the route.
Okay.
We are doing that, but because we're not finished and they are stopping at their own, own convenience where they will pick their passengers. But we have bus stops on both sides of the road.
Residents also complain of U-turns. The fact that you have to drive like a really long stretch before you're able to make one U-turn.
Yeah, you see, in the design, we have to look at all these things and also to avoid traffic and all others. You know, this particular road has a lot of inlets. What I mean is a lot of side roads, into the main road. So we try to sort of manage the traffic. So even some of their roads which are really entering to the main road, we have to block them and then also have to change their usual phases of use. It is true, but it's not as much. It's not so much, especially when it is asphalted and you are going to move on it. I don't think it's very far. That is from my opinion. It's okay. It's okay because if you also allow U-turn everywhere, it's going to cause a lot of chaos.
Another concern has been the speed. Even though you haven't entirely completed the project, some residents are complaining of vehicles speeding. Is there a plan to reduce the speed? Are you installing any special designs
we'll do
in
that.
there?
It's a fact because though we have not finished, the drivers are really speeding, and that is a concern. But we'll do some quick coming installation.
When would you say you're finished? Is street lights part of your project as well? Pedestrian crossing, all of the things that we're dreaming of. Is it part of this project?
Yes, please.
So street light is part of your project?
Yes, it's part of it.
Okay, great. Good to know. Could you anything more you want to ask?
No, I think my important issue was around the completion date, and he's clarified that. So, well, I'm cool.
Ms. Ansa, we thank you for your time. We will check in with you because obviously we started this campaign, Fix Lekma Roads Now. We're happy with the responses that the residents are given. So we'll check in with you if anything comes up. Thank you for your time this morning. Okay, all right. Dr. Okoboy. Okay, so the deadline as the residence engineer has given is towards the end of the year, end of 2020. If all things being equal, I'm not sure if you heard him. If payments and everything is done, then we're looking at the end of the year, so it's not much.
Yes, Moavi, I think the road, the Lekma Road, the Seshi Link is the major artery road, like you referred to it, connecting the beach road to the Spring Road. I am convinced that it's better to do a good job within a reasonable period than to rush it through. So it's my prayer that we don't go beyond 2020, as we have said. If we get it before the December 2020, that will be exciting. If it's within the period, that will be appreciated. So I'll be monitoring closely. Like I said, I don't need a budget to monitor. My bicycle is enough to ride across the lane. So I'll be giving you guys updates.
Okay, great. But let me ask you a political question. Would that help your campaign? Because you're in the running again this year.
Unfortunately, Mama V, when you discuss the road and the political talk starts coming, the residents they get disenchanted or upset. So they claim the political reward or advice will be manifested in how the new mandate. So let's see how it goes. But I'm optimistic. I mean, you can feel appreciation when you see. Previously, when I go on my community round, if you meet 100 people, 90 will ask you what is happening to the road. Now, if you meet about 100 people, 50 will say thank you. About 30 will ask you, are they going to do the other lane?
Okay.
And I go like half to half to.
Okay, great. Good to know. Thank you for your time, Dr. Okoboy. We wish you well as well. So that's the Member of Parliament for the area. And then earlier we spoke to the resident engineer. I'm pretty satisfied. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, well, I'm happy that the work is progressing. I'm not satisfied in terms of the timelines. I think the regional minister said 6 months it will be done. And a road of that length, less than 20 kilometers, can be done in 6 months. It can. We've seen it done here in Ghana and in other parts of the world to the highest quality.
With the drains and all?
With everything. We've seen it done. Okay. So I have some disappointment there.
Okay.
I feel like they overpromised and are under-delivering. I prefer what the engineer is doing. He is rather under-promising, so there is an opportunity for him to over-deliver. That's always better. So he is saying, look, let's look at end of 2020. Even though they've done almost half of it in 6 months, he is saying for the rest of it, let's look at end of 2020. You know, and for me that's better, so that we can take our time and then see the best possible quality road done for the people of the community.
Yeah. Well, we have to bring other conversations, and we've been talking Franklin Pujo. I think the earlier bit of our show this morning, the fact that you had an interaction with him, the time is now.
That's true.